Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to review the latest episode of Harley Quinn. It was the season 3 finale. It was called The Horse and the Sparrow. And as it starts, we see that Ivy is really pissed at Harley for making her stop terraforming Gotham. Meanwhile, everybody else is looking at Harley like she's a hero, including Batgirl, which Harley doesn't exactly take to. She kind of rejects this whole you saved the day, you're a hero kind of thing that's being leveled at her. Meanwhile, Lex Luthor offers to let Ivy run a reconstituted Legion of Doom, which she agrees to do as long as she can have complete control and doesn't have to babysit Bane, who Lex agrees to move to the Tempe office in Tempe, Arizona, because Bane is a bit of a handful. We see that Bruce is going to the premiere of the biopic about his father to confront his demons in a kind of a head-on way, as opposed to, creating demons out of the corpses of his dead parents, or zombies anyway. It turns out that Joker, as mayor, has instituted an evil lair tax, which is hilarious. And Lex, of course, does not approve of this, so Ivy's going to kill him for Lex at the movie premiere, and Harley is apparently on board, although maybe not completely. Bruce is then reduced to tears at the premiere when he realizes that Catwoman came there to support him even though they're not dating. Harley and Ivy kidnap the Joker, and when Harley goes out to the limo that they arrived in to get her bat that she left behind, he and Ivy talk about Harley's various idiosyncrasies because they both dated her. Joker convinces Ivy that Harley's not really in it to win it as it relates to killing him, and that she's just going along with it because of Ivy. Ivy, of course, doesn't like this because she doesn't want to be someone who manipulates, her girlfriend. She wants to be in a situation where they're equals, and she doesn't want Harley to do anything she doesn't really want to do. And she assures Joker that this is not what's happening, but he begs to differ. After Harley has a chat with Bruce on the way back in with her bat, during which she assures him that she won't reveal his secret because she realizes that Gotham needs Batman, and because of doctor-patient confidentiality, Ivy confronts Harley and tells her that she doesn't want her to compromise herself just to do the things that Ivy wants to do, and that it's okay if she's not necessarily a villain anymore, which Harley is grateful for, even though she doesn't exactly know what she is if she isn't really a villain anymore. After the film plays for the premiere audience, Clayface as Billy Bob Thornton is really thrilled that everybody seems to love it and can't resist revealing himself as Clayface because he wants the applause that people are offering for Billy Bob Thornton for himself. But when he does that, people just think that Billy Bob Thornton has always been a shapeshifter, and they don't realize that he's, Clayface. Joker interrupts Clayface's grandstanding and has Bruce Wayne arrested on financial crimes. Harley talks to Bruce again and tells him to just take deep breaths and keep his head up and he'll be fine. Batgirl tells Bruce she'll get Nightwing and Robin and break him out of the joint, but he says that he needs to do the time to show the people of Gotham that there are consequences and that she's good enough to lead the Bat family in his absence. So she and Robin and Nightwing suit up and head out on their nightly rounds, and Harley, who's trying to figure out exactly what she is, shows up to help them, saying that she figured they needed help since Batman's in the clink. And after agreeing to allow her to help, they take off on their bat ropes, swinging through the night, as it were. But she doesn't have a bat rope and can't do that, so she has to use the stairs to get down to the bottom of the building they were all standing on. And that's where the episode ends. I really like this episode. I think it was a good finale, especially for a season that at one point I didn't think was going very well, sort of after the first couple of episodes, but it rebounded in the last few, and this was another, good entry. So on the whole, I think the season ended well and was good. As I've said a million times now, I love a good redemption story, and I love when characters evolve, which is something that both Joker and Harley acknowledge in this episode is the case with Harley and Joker, really, but especially with Harley. And I think it's really cool. She's, someone that is very irreverent and very much a rule breaker, but she wants to help people ultimately and kind of wants to be a good person, even though she's been a villain. And so that's something that I like to see. And it endears this version of the character to me quite a bit. And Kaylee Cuoco does a great job at, playing it. And she's done a great job of growing in the role with the character, I think. So I really liked it. And I really like that Harley and Ivy have a relationship that works, even though it's wonky and wobbly. It works and they care for each other. And I think that that's cool. I especially liked the times in this season when Harley let her, therapist side come out, which is, you know, ultimately who she is, somebody that wants to help people. And for them to sort of show her coming into that again after a period where she kind of went off the rails, I think is very cool. I don't know how in line it is with Harley Quinn in the comics, and I don't think it's very much in line with who Harley was in the animated series. Although even there, if I remember correctly, she wasn't all bad. She wasn't total villain. She certainly hasn't been in the Suicide Squad movies and all of that. So I think this fits in with the lore, and I just really liked it. I like that she might have a friend in Batgirl, although she doesn't really want that because even though she wants to help people and isn't necessarily a villain, she finds Batgirl to be a bit of a square. And so she kind of bristles at the idea that they're friends. She says they're friendly. They're friendly. They're not friends. So, that's just another aspect that I like. So I was happy with this season. I'm glad it got renewed for a fourth. There was some talk about maybe it wouldn't in the wake of the Batgirl cancellation, but it's coming back. So I will be back to review season four. I'm gonna get out of here. Before I do, I want to remind you about my Teespring store. I have shirts and other merch there with the channel logo on it and other designs that you can get, and it helps support the channel if you do get some of that stuff. The link is in the description. But yeah, I'm gonna go. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.